I'll call the Kingston Springs Board of Commission public hearing to order. If you're a town resident, you probably had to sign into the public hearing sign-in sheet. With that said, it's open for public comments. Would anyone like to comment on the 2020-2021 budget? All right. Well, do we have a motion to adjourn the public hearing?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Public hearing is adjourned. In between, we need to take a little break here before we start the actual meeting, because tonight's a really special night, and I think that's why we have so many people here tonight, because it is our very esteemed city recorder, assistant city manager, Debbie's final meeting as it goes so far. We are keeping her around a little while longer for doing some other stuff. I always have told her for I don't know how many years, she's like, Tony, I'm going to retire someday. I'm going to retire. And I was like, I never believe her. And it turns out she was going to retire one day, even though, like I said, we're going to have to keep her around quite a bit afterwards. So Debbie, could you just come up front here really quick, and we have a little something to honor your service to the community. John did a good job, didn't he?
Yeah, I did not expect that. No.
So this is oh, do I have it the right direction? Yeah, I do.
Okay.
How many years?
32.
No.
32 in April.
And it was Doris and Jamie that actually spurred me into action.
Turn it around. This backwards.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I guess in the camera. Oh, it is backwards. There we go. There we go.
Actually,
Can you pose?
There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
Duck lips.
And this is just to clarify, if I may, this is just the beginning. We can't have a larger group gathering to have everybody to celebrate. So once we can, we will have a much bigger celebration to honor your service to the town of Kingston.
Very much.
There's refreshments after the meeting too.
Yeah, so that's the other part, is the refreshments after the meeting. We just wanted to get that done so that if anyone had to leave.
Let's get this over with.
Yeah, Glenn knows that we have to press on into the meeting because there are snacks. So, and it's been a long time since we've had a meeting. So, all right, we'll call the June 18th Board of Commission meeting to order. Can everyone please rise and face the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, John, could you call the roll?
Josh Etherly.
Here.
Tony Gross.
Here.
Mike Marcus.
Here.
Jeff Lorenz.
Here.
Glenn Remy.
Here. All right, we have a quorum. Do we have a motion to approve the May 21st, 2020 City Commission meeting minutes?
Motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. You don't have to do a roll call on everybody. That's kind of nice on it. All right, do we have a motion to approve the June 18th, 2020 City Commission agenda?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. All right, announcements from commissioners. Glenn?
We've been hearing good news from the parks for the mowing. I believe we're doing mowing in-house now. Correct. We're getting positive feedback.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Josh?
I just, Bubba and his team, I know it's been a long summer already, so especially training up some new people, and I've heard just a lot of positive from the community about seeing you guys and out and about, and it's just been good. Appreciate it.
Mike, you have
I'd like to add my congratulations to Debbie for 32 years of outstanding service to the city of Kingston Springs.
Well, that said, now it looks like we can move on to community input and concerns. Oh gosh, Jeff, see, it's a social distancing. He was social distanced so far away from me, I forgot he was even down there. Jeff, do you have anything to add?
I second all those.
Yeah, I everything everyone said was so good that what could we possibly ask? All right, community input and concerns. If you've got something you'd like to say to the commission, just come up to the podium there, state your name, your address, and then you're free to speak to the committee.
Thomas Stager from Fall Creek Court, which is the street that everybody loves. We pay taxes, don't ask much for it, okay? I may be a couple months behind because you already passed the budget, and I'm talking about budgetary things, which is the story of my life. I'm here talking about the beauty of the city. And I've got a concern, but I'm going to pay a compliment. I think I heard them talk about keeping the mowing and all that kind of business. Did I hear correctly a few minutes ago? I noticed coming from Mary Log, very rarely do I come this way. And that's absolutely beautiful. That's gorgeous. The city mows part of the way, and I believe the landowner takes it all the way back to the trees. It is absolutely gorgeous. Now, I saw the city manager here a few days ago, and he suggested I come and talk to you. I'm concerned about using the herbicide by the electric company. It just looks terrible. I mean, it is terrible. I don't know whether you can do an ordinance to forbid it. That's questionable. Or ask them to not do it. But up on Mount Pleasant, on both sides of the road, it just is it's not eye-appealing. And it takes away from the city. And then they take and they spray some places and don't spray others. For example, right out here we have some crepe myrtles outside this building, outside that building. They're on their electric lines, but they're not touched. There's some property owners who've got some ornamental things, and they're not touched. But if you look up at the grocery store by his sign, it's hit. And that just looks terrible. Now, he's a nice fella. I want to make his business look pretty. And if you look up on going up toward the bank, on the right-hand side, there's some trees hit, some trees not hit. So there's nothing consistent. And then on East Kingston Springs Road, from this side of Harpeth Meadows, on the right, as you're going up to that building, it's going to be hit by a car someday. You have all those trees along and through there that are been hit by the herbicide, and it just looks terrible for looking at the city. One more thing, the exit ramp off of I-40 between Thornton's and the ramp, that is overgrown. Now, I don't know whether it's property owners, state-owned, or what it is, but it would be really nice if it was cleaned up. It would give our city something other than we're a truck stop exit. That's my thing. Let me see, I'm looking here at my idiot notes. But I sure would appreciate if they would take and do more on Mount Pleasant, mowing wise, and if you go back on the property owners, I don't think they'd complain. I know it costs money, but what is the advantages to the city? Everything that makes the city look good costs money. One other thing that you need to look at, there are some of the roads where the road is starting to crumble. And this is going to get real expensive. Now, I'm not an engineer, but something needs to be done about, for example, across from my property, there's a ditch, and the water is eroding underneath the macadam. So there's going to be a replacement of the road, and I think maybe a little bit of anticipation is better than trying to fix up a major problem down the road. Also, just beyond Old Barn Trace, on the right, on the third house, the last house before you get to the woods, there's a ditch there that the city fixed several years ago, and it's crumbling pretty badly too. And then coming this way from Mary Log, the road is crumbling in several places. it may need some limestone, something like that, a berm put in or something like that. The road is narrow as it is, and when you have cars passing, they each take to the side, and that puts a lot of pressure on that edge of the road, so something needs to be done. That's about it for me.
I'd like to speak with you afterwards, if I could.
Are you my representative?
We are all of
We're all
of us.
No, I was talking about, okay. Okay, thank you.
We're theoretically not supposed to have a conversation now, but we can speak after the meeting. So,
Oh, okay, okay, thank you.
All right, is there anyone else who would like to address the commission? All right, then we can move on. Department reports, everyone's had a chance to look at those. Do we have anything to add, John? Chief?
The only thing that I have to add is the two officers that were here will be back, and when they come back, I'd like to introduce them.
Great.
So,
Thank you. That's all. So they'll be back in tonight.
yeah, they ended up getting a call as soon as the night.
All right, any other department reports? Are we good?
No, sir.
Okay. Legal updates.
I'll just briefly touch, since everything is changing every day on executive orders. And Johnny just asked me about this, but the allowance for Zoom instead of public hearings expires on June the 30th, which we're having a public hearing tonight because we have a budget. But unless that's extended by the governor, then everything will have to be public, just like it normally is.
Okay.
Also, the last order that's applicable to Kingston Springs, which is number 38, still allows for to-go cups, to-go drinks at establishments, and that will expire on June 30th unless that's extended. And I laughed. I said Governor Lee usually does those on Friday afternoons at 4:30. He's going to extend something. Kind of interesting in that funerals, churches can be open. You can have weddings, and non-contact sports are allowed, which is golf, baseball, softball. There's kind of a list of them. Track. Still, contact sports are not allowed, which would be football, hockey, those type of things. And that all expires on the 30th. So those are kind of the main things that apply to the city. Still cannot have any concert venues or anything like that. So again, that's supposed to expire on the 30th. And that's subject to change, as everyone knows. So I just kind of, it's always ever evolving. And so I just kind of wanted to give you a quick update on that.
Great. All right. Unfinished business. Item A is motion to approve on second reading ordinance 20-003, the 2020-21 budget.
Make a motion that we approve the 2021 budget.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? No discussion. John, could you call the roll?
Josh Etherly,
Yes.
Tony Gross,
Yes.
Mike Hargis,
Yes.
Jeff Lorenz,
Yes.
Glenn Renner.
Yes.
All right, the budget passes on second reading. Item B is a motion to approve on second reading ordinance 20-004, amending the Town of Kingston Springs public record policy.
No changes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Passes. New business. Item A is motion to approve on first reading ordinance 20-005. Amending certain portions of the Town of Kingston Springs personnel policy.
We had discussed at the May meeting the opportunity of increasing the distance for take-home vehicles for public service officers from 15 miles to 30 miles
Or anywhere.
in Cheatham County. So that required a change to the personnel policy, which was the primary vehicle for this ordinance. While we were at it, there were 2 or 3 other things, policies that were in place, but or procedures in place that were just not codified. So we put those on this ordinance as well, just to get our personnel policy book manual up to date.
Both of the other departments in the county already have the 30-mile rule, right? Or we kind of the last one to get there. Yeah, okay, that's awesome.
And some of them have unlimited miles.
Yeah, right, okay.
Are we extending to 30 or just in Cheatham County?
Just in Cheatham County.
It's actually 30 or
30
Cheatham
or
County.
Cheatham.
Zero.
14. It's both.
So if you lived in Dixon, you could fall in that range.
And there's a couple of corners of Cheatham County that are just over the 30-mile limit.
I mean, much outside of 30, would you want to have an officer that far away?
Well, most are in that range.
Yeah.
I doubt it, but is there any insurance changes that have to, for the vehicles?
I don't think so. I think it just says,
Well, yeah, we've got
it just states, I believe, I'm right, that the police officers can take them home under the city's insurance policy, but I don't think there's a mileage to so.
All right. Do we have a motion to approve ordinance 20-005?
Motion approved.
Second?
Second?
I don't suppose there's any more conversation or discussion because we already have that. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. All right. Item B is motion to approve resolution 20-006, updating the town of Kingston Springs permit fee schedule.
Staff had worked, staff as myself, the city planner, and our building and codes inspector over the last month, looking at our current permit fee schedule, where those fees originated and generated and what kind of coverage those fees had for the services that we now offer. Most of the fees that we are charging now for permits are from 2010, so they haven't been updated at least in 10 years. Some of them are from earlier than that. So in working with the planner and working with the building inspector, we came up with what it costs the town for inspections with the 2015 international building codes that we've adopted the last couple of years ago. There are certain energy codes that now require additional inspections. So rather than going out once or twice, sometimes a building inspector is going out 3 and 4 times on a building or property to inspect. So the fees are ranging from an increase of $10 here, $15 there per permit, just to kind of get us up to where we're able to fund the cost of the employees doing their jobs.
How does it compare to other city fee schedules?
We did compare with everywhere from Fairview, White Bluff, outside of the county, and all the other municipalities and the county, and we are now all in line with, we're all $5 apart pretty much.
All right. Do we have a motion to approve resolution 20-006?
Motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. All right. Motion to approve write-off of uncollected sewer debt of $884.08.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? I had 884.08.
I think you said one.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
I thought, do I
Sorry.
not have my glasses on?
884 million.
All right, well,
Motion to approve.
884.
Uncollected sewer debt of $884.
And we have a second?
Jeff second.
Jeff is our second. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. All right. Items to surplus. We have a fire department laptop, a police department 4 laptops, parks department 1 plastic rolling cart, and the city hall has 2 inkjet printers, 2 hack backup power supplies, mainly for discarding. Do I have a motion to surplus these items?
Motion to surplus or recycle those items.
Second.
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
If I could, just a point of clarification too, the laptops will be discarded / recycled. They can't be resold because we do have to take the laptop hard drives out, and we can wipe the hard drives or refurbish them or reset them back to factory specs. However, there's still little bits and pieces of things that are on there that may be or may not should be on there. So we basically soak them in salt water. Once you take the drive out of the laptop, it's not worth much of anything else.
The fire department laptop's 9 years old, and the police laptops are about 7, so they really have no value.
So we'll look at recycling.
All right. Any other for discussion? I don't think anyone added anything. Everybody wants to have cupcakes or whatever.
Cupcakes.
Punch and pie. All right. The reminders are the citywide yard sale has been postponed to June 27th, which is what weekend
Next
after
Saturday.
next.
Next Saturday.
Next Saturday. Yeah. And the farmers market continues to go on from 9 to 12. It's been going really well too, I think.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, thank you.
Times I've been down there, it's been a good thing. So we've had a pretty good crowd too, and everybody's keeping nice distance from each other.
71st.
All right, and then City Hall will be closed Friday, July 3rd for the 4th of July holiday. All right, do we have a motion to adjourn? Oh, go ahead.
I met during when I was making announcements. We had a Brentwood police officer killed this morning in a head-on car wreck. So our thoughts and prayers are with them. We're small staff. We can't send a lot, but we will offer to send manpower if they need coverage while their officers do visitation. So
That's all right. Yeah, I heard about that this morning. So.
That on duty?
I believe it was
he was coming
early in the
home
morning, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was coming off shift, going back to the precinct, and a car crossed the median and hit him head on.
So it was just like kind of a freak accident?
Yeah, it was he just like right, I think, in an intersection or near an intersection on Franklin Road.
Was there
near that market?
The driver of the other car intoxicated?
They've not released any. They won't release anything, I'm sure, for a few days.
All right. So we did have a motion to adjourn, and we had a second from somewhere. Second from Jeff. All right. From Josh.
184.
All right. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.